Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can tell, there's literally no intro for today's video on how you can literally be an academic weapon this year. We're giving you guys a 7-step guide on how you can achieve this, and if you want grades like these, then I suggest that you watch this video to the end. First thing you need to do before you become an academic weapon is figure out why you're studying. Most of us in the UK do not start school until September 4th, whereas some of us have already started school, but we all roughly know that we have midterm assessments, mock exams, like any exams before the winter or the fall break. What I would suggest is briefly writing down your goals somewhere, phone, on Notion, on your laptop, even traditional paper, to just keep it hidden, keep it somewhere so that you're able to refer back to it from time to time. This will make sure that you're studying to achieve a certain goal or a certain aim, that it's an A grade that you want, or whether if it's just to pursue more knowledge. These goals also ensure that you're on track and on top of your studies as well. Now moving on to step 2 of this process, which is to obviously find out what you need to study. We're not going to go into this study process blind. We're going to know exactly what we need to study. How can you do this? In the UK, we have this thing called curriculums, and obviously if you're going into different year groups, the subjects you're going to take in, for example GCSEs, then you obviously sort of know how the teacher's going to obviously teach that system to you. But if you do not have curriculums, at least you know you have subjects that you have chosen. Select the certain topics that you already find difficult at the start of the semester or start of the term, and go from there. Obviously this is a very hard thing to do if you haven't started school yet. I would highly suggest doing this once you obviously know timetables and your subjects and things like that. On to the 3rd step, you need to figure out where you're going to get your study materials from, what you're going to use, and how you're going to use it. This is basically just figuring out your best way to revise, whether it's audio, visual, or like proactively doing stuff to find your niche, and you need to figure out what fits you specifically. Trust me, you are different to all those people out there that study differently. In terms of resources and materials, everything is digital now. If you are in the UK and you are doing STEM based subjects, there's things like physics and maths tutor. Whether if you are also international, you have YouTube videos available for you, you have Upload, you have Seneca. There's so much resources out there, as well as Quizlet. You just need to find your niche and find out what fits you specifically, not the same as everybody else. Once you figure out how you are going to study and where you're going to get your materials from, then you are ready to move on to the next step. Now on to step 4 of this process, and the question you need to ask yourself is, where are you studying? Scientifically proven that if you revise on your bed, you're most likely to fall asleep or start to procrastinate. I suggest if you have a desk available, make use of it. If you don't have a desk available, you can go downstairs and study like on the dining table or something, even the floor, just not your bed or the couch. Trust me, in the long run you're going to end up feeling the need to go to sleep or just not do your work at all. Now once step 4 is done, we're going to move on to step 5, creating your to-do list, organizing, and also planning your revision. When planning your revision, the first thing that you need to do is prioritize the difficult tasks first. If you have any homework, I would highly suggest you do that first, because if you don't do that, obviously there's a lot of consequences that come with that. Once your homework is done, tasks, things that you absolutely have no knowledge of, even though the teacher has tried to explain the concept to you, work your way down. If you have a timetable for revision, that you use it and you stick to it. If you do not have that, then I would highly suggest that you make one, or have daily to-do lists that you can complete. It should not be a day that goes by where you do not at least do one thing, especially if you want to achieve the academic comeback. Once this step is finished, then you're ready to move on to step number 6. Step number 6, what I want to say is to get into the mindset. A lot of people talk about the mindset, but they don't necessarily talk about how you're supposed to get into that mindset. That's why I'm trying to explain it to you guys today. After watching a YouTube video, I'm going to try and see if I can find it. I realized that in order for you to get into the mindset, you need to adapt some certain changes, and without adapting these certain changes, then you're never going to be in the mindset to study. When you're telling people like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get the academic book, have not made the changes necessary. As I said, it starts with the mindset. And how do you get into this mindset? For example, you could watch videos to motivate yourself to study. Your home screen on your phone, you can make a Pinterest board, make a revision playlist. It's what's going to give you the motivation and the mindset to at least start getting the academic comeback. Now once step 6 is done, then you're ready to move on to step 7. Now the 7th step to this guide is probably the most chill step that you're going to get. Only get this 7th step once you've done steps 1 to 6. 7th step that you need to have is to obviously have balance. You don't need to get burnt out because of revision. You need to have the perfect balance between friendships, between entertainment, balance, and obviously between your work ethic as well. Once you're already into the routine of obviously achieving your priorities, don't neglect having some sort of social life. Like, we're not going to lock ourselves in our bedrooms and study all day for 9 hours. Like, not everybody is wired that way. If you are, then that's your own issue. Personally, I like to talk to my friends, to go out sometimes. I'm not going to stop doing that because I need to study. So make sure you have the perfect balance between the two, to actually trust yourself that the hard work that you are putting in is going to pay off. Thank you guys so much for watching this 7-step guide. Hopefully I gave you guys all of the tools necessary to achieve your academic comeback. We really know what we have to be coming back from because the school year has just started.